Welcome to the House Academy show. Entertaining real estate investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about screwed up mailer, now what? You know what the original title was?
Crawling, that's okay. Hang up the phone. Oh, wow. I tried. Wouldn't that be funny?
The original title was, So You Screwed That Mailer Up, Now What Do You Do? Mm-hmm. But I thought it was just a little too harsh.
How is that different?
I don't know.
Okay. Go ahead.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
Molly says, a friend of mine who is a very successful land flipper from a different education group told me that he lists his properties without buying them or notifying the seller to see who would buy them. Oh, then he would double close on the property. That's a little scary. Yikes. My first question is this even legal? And second, is this a recommended way to market the properties?
So, this is a land, they said, the word land is in here, but this is a very common thing to do. I see people doing this a lot with houses, which is why I included it in this show.
Okay.
What's the answer, Jill? Is it legal?
I don't think it's legal. You have to have some vested interest in it. You need to have a sign. If he has a sign, but he doesn't even, list his properties without buying them or notifying the seller to see who would buy them. You need to have a conversation. I would not want to find my house listed on the MLS without me knowing it. Because you're a wholesaler and you came along and, sent me an offer.
So what's happening here, quite simply, is that this person is representing someone else in the purchase or sale of their asset, which is the very definition by law of a real estate agent.
Right.
And so there's deep issues, and there's a lot of case law of people getting it. It's like practicing medicine without a license.
I was going to say safe sex.
Practicing safe sex? You need to have a contract. You need to have a written agreement that says, great, you want to sell your property? Good. I want to buy it. I want to buy it for $100,000. By the way, I'm going to go market it for more.
Right.
And I'm not going to actually buy it. What's going to happen is I'm going to go market it because I have this beautiful marketing machine all set up in place that you don't have, that no real estate agent even has. I am not representing you in the purchase or sale of your property. I'm actually going to buy your property. I'm just going to market it before I do. And here's the numbers. Is that okay with you? Sign here. Mm-hmm. And here's the length of the agreement. It doesn't go on forever. Let's say it's 6 months or some number. So everybody knows exactly what's happening. And you should say in there, I'm probably going to list it on the MLS. I'm going to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm going to present myself like I own this property. Mm-hmm. Is that okay with you, seller? Sign here. Then you have what's called equitable interest in the property. You have a contract to purchase. And you're outlining all the details of how it's going to go. That's the first question. Is it legal? That's how you make it legal. The way that it's described here, no, it's not. I don't know if it's legal or not, but I know that the Department of Real Estate that you're in, I think this is all 50 states. You have to have a license to represent somebody.
Right.
The second question is it recommended? And to which I say, and Jill may say something else, hell no.
Right. It's like, I don't like it either. It's like, it's like with land, we call them an option kind of thing. I don't think you're all that interested. If you have 10 of these floating around, you're not going to be, are you really going to go all in? I don't know. And I just like owning the property and being able to make the decisions. It's just better. And I can have an open house whenever I want. I can leave a key under the mat. I don't have to think about this stuff. I don't worry about the guy in there. I don't worry about him changing his mind, by the way, because that could happen. This has certainly happened on house deals, especially right now. I bet this is happening. We have it under contract. I'm spending $10,000. I'm going like gangbusters. I'm out there marketing this property, and I find a buyer, and I come back, and the guy says, oh, I forgot to tell you, I lost my job. We can't sell. That could happen. And now you're going, great, I just wasted all that money. And are you really going to go through and try to sue him or something like that? Come on, that's not the right thing to do, and you don't want to be that guy. Stuff happens. I'd rather own it, buy it. What I would do, though, is I'm buying it. We're closing on Friday. My ad is my pictures are done, everything's ready to go. I've got it all lined up. So maybe even Thursday night at 10 o'clock, I push the button, it's out there, kind of thing. Because the wire's happening and the recording's happening on Friday. It's like done. The guy's moved out. There's no chance of anything. Are you okay with that?
Keep going.
Okay. Then I would be like going like nuts at that point. I'm comfortable with that. What?
Here's some philosophical advice.
I ask you questions and you don't want to answer. Like, no, I'm not going to answer that question.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't have anything to add.
Okay,
I agree with you completely.
Okay.
There's a million what if scenarios that can happen. If you control the asset, if the deal's worth doing economically, then do it.
Exactly.
So here's some philosophical advice, not just about real estate. When something seems sketchy or weird, and you ask yourself, well, if it's sketchy and weird, then why do they do it? Here's the answer always. It's ridiculously profitable, or it's free. Those are the two things that will get everybody in trouble, with permanent consequences. The whole drug industry is built on, well, it's ridiculously profitable. So if you're questioning something, like this person's asking a great question, is this even legal? It's free. That's why. This whole concocted scheme here of writing an agreement, an option agreement, or whatever they're calling it, to do a double close, there's a lot of words for it, is because they don't want to buy the property. They want to get 10 of these things going. You can picture what this person looks like too that does this a lot. Have a day trader type mentality. They love risk. They probably go to Las Vegas a lot. They want to get 10 of these things going. They don't really care about the seller or the real estate or the buyer. They want the title agent to do all the work. And they're kind of sweaty.
That's really weird. Do they wear gold chains?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I don't have anything against gold chains.
Right.
I just think they sweat too much because they're all jacked up.
Do you know what's funny about this? I want to end it on this for me. Let's end it. But I'm all for bending the rules. But there's parts of this that are even over my line. I won't do this. You can't not tell the seller what's going on.
If you have a $250,000 house and the seller's calling you, really wants to sell you the property for $128,000 because of some life circumstance, that's a good enough deal to just buy it. And if you don't have the money, that's okay. A million people in our group do, including Jill and I. So then just buy it, and maybe you go list it correctly, and you're the owner of record, and you sell it for $200,000, and everybody's good.
Exactly. Thank you.
Today's topic: screwed up mailer. Now what? This is the meat of the show.
Okay, so let's talk about how this happens. You wanna lay the foundation, and I'll tell you.
Sure.
Okay.
First of all, maybe I've done bajillions of mailers, and there's only maybe one or two that didn't work, and it's all because of a couple of things. Number one, I dramatically chose the wrong place to send the mail. Doesn't happen too often. Doesn't happen to me ever anymore. Or number two, I priced it wrong. I still price stuff wrong. That's the truth.
That's okay.
Do I ever get a goose egg on a mailer? No.
Right.
And Jill will explain why. So those are the origins of a messed up mailer. So if you're new at this and you haven't done a lot of mailers, I don't want you to obsess about it and give yourself a reason not to send a mailer out because you might fail. That's silly.
Right.
There's always a chance that you're going to fail at whatever you're doing, but it's very, very, very unlikely extremely unlikely if you follow the steps that we provide.
You know what's funny about this? I would argue that it's impossible. It's impossible to not get the juice out of a mailer. Because here's the reality. Okay, so it goes out, you did all your research, you priced it, you did your best, and you came in way too high. And people would call this a messed up mailer. Like, uh-oh, every single darn person that I mailed signed it and sent it back. Oh, I messed up. I priced them too high. Now what do I do? Okay, that's not a problem. You've identified again that these guys all want to sell. Okay, sure. Now we have to undo what we did because we priced it too high. It's not what we really want to spend, and you can do that. But now you sit down. You got however many. You're really not going to get all 100% of them back because there's a lot of people. Even if you come in hot, you're probably not going in over retail. That nobody would do that. But you came in at maybe this is a house show. Maybe you came in at 95% of retail instead of when you really kind of meant to come in at 75 or 70% of retail. That's kind of where you were targeting, kind of thing. You can back up. So you're going to get, again, there's some people that don't want to sell regardless of the price. They're going to retire there, or they've got kids in school, or they have nowhere to go, whatever it is. So you've got a lot of mailers to sift through. Well, you take all those responses, line them up, figure out the ones that you do want to buy, and then you're going to call them back and have a conversation with them. And what's interesting is this is happening right now, a version of this today for all of us because of the virus. Every single person in our community that sent out a mailer before January is now looking at these houses differently. And I bet there's a lot of you right now in House Academy, or just people in our world that have done houses or doing houses. Think about it. What's the contract you would have negotiated in January and the price you're going to pay now in May? Oh, it's different. And you know what? You're looking at it going, I need to really plan ahead, because I'm not sure the price I want to pay right now in May is a price I would do in June. Okay, so hold on a moment. I'm going under contract in May. I'm closing in June. I need to hurry up and flip this thing. What's going to happen June, July? I need to really plan for that. So the point of this is, and why I'm spelling this out, this is a conversation that you're going to have with the person. And there are no surprises. Everybody kind of knows that. They're watching the news. They're watching their neighbors. They're seeing what's going on. They know people are even hesitant to put things on the market because they don't know what they're going to get, what kind of offers they're going to get. So how you recover from this is have this conversation. And I just did a whole thing on it last week. I did a Facebook Live that you can go check out. It was on Friday, talking about my steps and how to recover and have these hard conversations like, you know what, that was pre-virus pricing. Here's what I'm willing to spend, and that's it. So you have to candidly tell them just that. Hey, and this is my business too. This is the best I can do. I go into it in great detail there on the show. And I'm trying to hear, how much do you want me to, Timmy Good, you don't
I'm
care.
learning stuff.
Okay. I love it when I look at you and you have that look. You're like, hell, I don't know. All right, so here's what you do. Number one, I'm going to give you kind of a recap of what I did last Friday. Number one is get into their heads a little bit, be a little understanding. Number one, there's a group of people that may not know that you came in hot. They may think that their asset is worth more for some reason that you and they all see. They all see, well, look at this guy. This is the first guy I've ever got an offer that's way more in line than what I want. No, it's because you goofed up. But so you've got to kind of be ready for it when you call them back and tell them, hey, here's the deal. Two, explain the situation. If they don't know what's going on, say, hey, I'm watching this market. This is my business. I am micro watching these markets. They are going down and I got a plan for it. So if you do want to sell, I do want to buy. So this is the good news. Yay. I am interested in your property. But, and this is step 3, rip the Band-Aid off, which is this is the best that I'm going to be able to offer you. And if it works for you, and then I go into my thing, I go into the responses that they're going to give you, which is one is, hell no, what are you smoking? Kind of thing. Number 2 is, oh man, shucks, I got to sleep on this. And number 3 is, I expected it. What's the next step? Kind of thing. So that's it. So my thing about recovering here, though, this is what this is about, is now what? You need to explain it to them, be kind to them. I would give them some information about the market. They may not know. That kind of helps some of the people. Don't overwhelm them, though. Don't give them stats and send them reports and things like that. They don't need that. They don't need to see 16 comps in their neighborhood where it was listed for this and it sold for that. You don't want to, they can look it up themselves. But just kind of explain it and then come in with, this is the best that I can do, and I am going to do it. And then let them make the decision. They're either in or they're out. This is I don't want you to negotiate. This is not what we're doing here. Just my price was this, now it's this. And let them sleep on it and give them a short one. Here's one of the things that I've changed with what's going on right now with we kind of joke about it, virus pricing right now, is I give them a shorter time span because I am reviewing a lot of offers. I do very politely and honestly say, like you came in hot. You really do have a lot of people right now that you're talking to. I need to know by Friday. I understand you want to sleep on it, talk to your wife, make a decision. That's great. But I'm reviewing 6 offers today that came back. I need to know by Friday, because if you don't want to sell, I'm gonna pull the trigger on something else. And that's fair. Do you want to ask some questions?
Here's a couple of common misconceptions that happen generally with new people, and sometimes even seasoned people when markets dramatically change like they are now. Every single piece of property that you send out an offer is accomplishable, is a logical acquisition candidate for you. What's the variable? Price.
Yep.
So when mailers go out very infrequently and they're not priced right, then you have to do a lot more work on the back end to get the deals. So that's what Jill just talked about. You have to get into explanation mode. You need to change your pricing and talk about why. But what you don't want to do in all these cases is obsess on pricing. You are not looking for a seller who knows all about the market and knows about pricing. The people you're going to do deals with on every mailer are in a situation. I'm going to tell a very brief story here in a second to try to really drive the example home. My mom passed away about 15 or 20 years ago, long time ago. And my sister and I are full-blown, full-time in the real estate business. We are real estate people, and this is a small house in the town that we grew up in. So both of us, there's just my sister and I, we inherited all this stuff in these houses. So somebody knocked on the door, realized she passed away because we were there and all the commotions going on, and said my mother is actually just got divorced, and she needs a house to live in. I know it's a terrible time. And they did everything right. Would you consider selling the house? And this is the amount of money she has to pay for it for cash. We both said immediately yes. We didn't even, and we're in the real estate business. I know how much that house was worth. I didn't care. I just wanted to be done with it. It was a long list. So if it works on me, imagine price wasn't even the issue with me. It was like, all right, the house it was all redone. It was more of an emotional thing than it was a money thing. Yeah, and my sister and I didn't disagree on it. So that's what you're looking for. If someone calls back and says, oh, no, that's not the right price, price, that's not going to be your seller.
Exactly.
So even a really screwed up price mailer, and I've screwed up the best of them, Jill can get me out of it. Mm-hmm. That's really what we're saying here.
Yeah, that's true. That whole thing that I said, my long-winded explanation was meant to be, it's the back end of a short phone call. It really is. And that's how you're going to do. Here it is. Here's the situation. Yeah, I know I sent that. Here's the situation now. Here's the best I can do. Are you in or are you out? That's really what's happening. And if they're out, that's fine. And give them a deadline. Say, I'll give you, if you change your mind, I'm going to be here. Let me know by Friday. Otherwise, I wish you all the best and thank you. And then move on, because you do have other deals to look at.
And my final point is, and I'm just going to reiterate what Jill said, what she started out with is, what's the definition of a screwed up mailer?
Yeah.
Is it one where you have to actually answer the phone and call and do some deals? Because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people that, for whatever reason, I think it's coming from other groups, other learning groups, that how easy this is. And while the mail does a tremendous amount of work for you, you could never make 10,000 phone calls. You can send out 10,000 offers very, very quickly. And it'll weed the people out that need to be weeded out very, very efficiently, financially, and not the time-wise and everything. But it's not the 5 or 8 deals that you're going to do, or whatever your numbers end up being. You got to talk to the people. And in some cases, you got to talk to them a lot. So I'm fortunate to have a business partner that actually enjoys doing that. It's not my first choice. My first choice is a data. So if your mailer's not going the way that you think it should be going, it's probably because you're not putting the time in that you need to, even if it was priced wrong.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you. Happy you could join us today. Every Tuesday and Thursday, you can find us right here on the House Academy Show. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy show is called Seeing Something in a Real Estate Deal That's Not Really There. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. Seeing something on a first date that's not really there.
Girls are famous for
I
that.
know.
Oh, that's a good
It's
one.
the same thing.
Girls, oh man, I want to shake all my friends. They have one good first date. Men, you need to know this. Maybe not, I don't want to say screw up the first date, but I just want to tell you this is how girls think. If the first date there's a connection, a love connection, they think, or they see, or just you accidentally did something charming, they see wedding bells sometimes. And then what happens is
This isn't the show yet. I want to hear this go. This is worth going over on the time.
and then they ignore the 5 red flags that come on date number 2. Like, he still lives with his mom. They can see past that. He doesn't have a car.
No job
They
is
can
my
see
favorite.
past that one. Yeah, he just got laid off, and you're paying for everything. They see past that. I'm like,
He asked for money.
oh my, yeah, he asked for money. He asked for money. He has to move in. Oh man, I'll know. Oh my gosh,
I'll save it.
Okay. The House Academy show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listener. So wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there. We're Steve and Jill.
Information
And inspiration.
is my undervalued property.